and get started here. Excuse my progress, but been wanting to make this video for a while. I've been thinking and thinking and thinking every day. Well, it's a lot of videos I want to make. This one is just going to be the first. I just have to make time to do them. This one, I don't watch Atlanta Housewives anymore. The Real Housewives of Atlanta, I don't watch them anymore. But because of social media, I don't have to. I know everything that's going on without even having to give them any ratings. I have a few problems with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't even know where to start. And I think that's where I've been just mulling over the last few weeks about how to start. Well, except for, was it the Real Housewives of Potomac, however you say it. I know I messed it up. Real Housewives of Atlanta are basically the only franchise that's all black. So you're representing black women. You're giving the world a view of black women. Let me back up. Let me say I'm saying this as a viewer, an international citizen, and I'm frustrated at how my people are being viewed in other countries. People don't know that black people are normal. We don't all rap and sing and always want to dab. We don't all want to do that. But because that's what's being put out there, the only images of black people, just ignorance and fighting, it's a lot to combat. And once people, if they spend enough time with you and see like, oh, I didn't know that black people could be different and be like every other race that has different people that make them up. Sometimes it'll be messing up because it'll be trying to be proper, but it don't be working out. So I just try to be me too, but it is what it is. So with the Housewives, over the years, at first it was kind of entertaining. Sometimes I felt like the fights were really petty, and I know that they're battling for checks, for airtime, for whatever they're trying to do that they feel that's important to them. And sometimes, very little times, will they insert a good cause. So it's not all bad. But the fighting, the calling each other the B word, whether it's in an endearing sense or if it's when they're mad, in a spiteful way. I don't call my friends B words. Like, I don't be like, B, what's up, B? No. That's not what we do. And I really wish people would take out of their minds, I don't know what it is about who said this. Like, black people are this way, white people are this way, white people are better, black people are not, or people of color are not. We have different people in every race. There's good and bad in each one. But let me get back on this Real Housewives of Atlanta stuff. So, my first issue with Real Housewives of Atlanta, the first season or two, was that there were no Real Housewives that were actually from Atlanta. There were none that were born and raised in Atlanta. There happened to be some Georgia peaches, like Nene was a Georgia peach. I think that was it. Nene, because you had Deshaun Snow, you had Lisa Wu Hartwell, Kim, Sheree, no, who else was on that first season? So let's move forward. Then you got some new additions. You got Candy. Now let me say, always, and my reasoning for liking Candy goes way beyond just, it's actually a personal one. I should probably not say that, but it has been. That's just what it is since I was in middle school. And I'm not gonna even say the reason, but it's a personal reason. So I support it. I was like, oh, Candy gonna be on there. She from Atlanta. She's successful on her own. She really has something to bring. She's mostly positive at that time. You know, I was like, okay, I mean, she has some things. Everybody's a person. Everybody has good and bad. But overall, I was like, all right, because I was really a Candy fan. Like, all those things, being born and raised in Atlanta helped, and being in Escape and part of So Def and all of that. Then you have Phaedra that joined the show. And I was like, okay, she from Athens. It's a lot of people from Athens, like Nene. But they hadn't met each other, I guess. So Nene claimed. Anyway, but at the time. But the show started getting interesting. I was like, then I started watching it, because I didn't watch the first season at all. Like when Candy joined, I had to actually go back and see what it is that she liked about Nene, since they had got into it. Because I was like, why is this chick coming for Candy? Like, no. But Candy held on. But as the years have gone by, the show has gotten just very negative and very petty, and I feel like for Black women, it puts us in a very horrible light. Far as just giving off the sense that we can't have friendships without being loud and vulgar and petty and always wanting to spend money but not really make it. Or just, if you do make it, just being just lavish with it at all times, being unnecessary, just, and everything's based upon money. You see no real value, human value. And with Phaedra, okay, so I'm gonna end with Candy and Phaedra, because that's the main topic. But let me say, when Kenya joined the show, I was like, who contacted her for this? Like, what ties to Atlanta does she have? Or did she just need to be on the show? And she pretty much, you could figure out that something was wrong, because she has been around for a while and has never had any real success. You could always see her in B movies or movie of the week or just stuff like that. And yes, you were proud because she was the first Black Miss USA or Miss America or whatever she is. Not to be disrespectful with it, but at the same time, I really don't know what it is. And I know she has like a fit when people don't know the specific title, but that's your life and not ours. That was what was important to you. But that was a great accomplishment, hands down. No matter what happens, what she says, what she does, that's a great accomplishment. We just know she's just crazy now. So that addition to the show, didn't understand at all. And I really don't feel like she needs to be on there. Maybe she can join the Real Housewives of Potomac. And I know I'm probably still saying that wrong. Who else? Phaedra, I already said she was a good fit for the show. And I didn't like Nene at first, but as she started to come off, she started to get her own and then finally come off the show, I liked her. Oddly enough. Sheree Whitfield, I didn't really like her. I didn't dislike her. I just was like, she's just an ornament. She's just on there to get a check, Because that's all she has ever wanted was a check. Somebody else's check, and then she had to earn her own. So she's one of those trophy wives. She tried to be a trophy wife, and then I guess Bob got tired of that. Whatever. Kim, she was okay. I think she just had a lot of issues, and she tried to be a little bit too much too. And I had the issue that you was sleeping with, at that time she was sleeping with a married man. And then just asking for all this stuff. I'm like, you know, y'all be gloating about being kept, but when are y'all gonna worry about your soul? Like, you gotta answer for all this one day. But hey, if a Bentley lets you rest at night and not worried about what's gonna happen when you leave this earth, because none of us really know, I guess carry on. But, you know, now her circumstances are changed and they seem happy. And I think she finally, once she let that go, and I think she came to her own senses and her own realizations, regardless if she says or not, that's not for us anyway. And she has her family. I mean, hey, things turn around. Then she has her own show where she doesn't have to focus on all that pettiness and negativity and somebody pulling her wig. Which again, I think was really stupid. And the fact that people gloat about that is, and I'll submit, I used to be there too. Just with like, you know, reading people's comments. Not like I wanted it to happen, but when it happened, it was like, oh, you see what happened? That's, I guess, human nature. Who else was on the show? Lucy Hartwell. I ain't really care for her either. I felt like she just gloated too much about business and stuff, and nothing really happened for her. But again, people paint the picture they want you to see. Nothing bad about her, just I think she just lie. Who else was on there? Portia. Oh yeah, when Portia joined the show, I was like, oh okay, Hosea Williams' granddaughter, I could see it. And then when she got on there, it was like, oh, she's dumb as a box of rocks. That's bad. Like, Hosea Williams' granddaughter, really? Especially when the underground train. Anyway, but it is what it is. She's an addition. She's from Atlanta. She has deep roots in Atlanta. She's on there. And she came on there as a married woman. And these shows always ruin marriages. Always ruin marriages. It's just what it is. Marriages, friendships. I think the longer you stay on there, the more you lose yourself, because you're feeding into this, not just you're being on TV, you're being judged, you're being criticized, 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 you're being put under a microscope. It has to be hard. And it has to be hard for all the people around you. Now, would I bring my parents on the show constantly? Absolutely not. And I think for Candy, that was a misstep, because you don't want anybody to judge your family, and you're real pit bullish about people saying anything about your family. Well, don't have them on the show. That sounds harsh and sounds direct, and cruel, but it's the truth. Don't have them on the show, because the more you have people on the show, the more they get comfortable with these cameras, the more they show themselves. Just like the more these people show themselves, the longer they are on the show, which is my next problem. I've said this 3 seasons ago, Candy should be off the show now. Not in a negative way, like hating or anything, but I think she's built herself back up to the public eye and to all the new generation and the viewers of now, to where she can carry it on. Let's go back and try to make some good music. Well, how about forgiving the members of Escape for what they did? And I know it was bad, but forgiveness. And then if you all about making this money, then, you know, who don't want to see an Escape reunion? I bet you they sell out. But she doesn't need them. don't know who to start with first. I'm gonna say, let me start with Phaedra, because I wasn't aware of Phaedra or anything. Well, I was, because I knew she represented Bobby Brown a few times, and you know, knew little stuff about her even before she got on the show. I think Phaedra is a very successful person in her own right, and I don't think she shows all that she has. That's one thing about Phaedra, you're never gonna know. You're never gonna know everything. Nobody's gonna know everything, and I think that's a good thing. I think she's gotten on the show and she's lifted herself up to making more money, doing what she needs to do, especially for her boys. My personal opinion. She came on the show, she was pregnant. I think, and this is just my opinion, people disagree, I think she really just married Apollo because she was getting older, she wanted kids, and he was there. She could have some cute babies with him. She might have loved him. Who knows? I don't know about that. But I do know she wanted kids, and she was trying to do it the right way and trying to wait on the right man. Your clock is ticking. You're a successful person. This is the only area that you cannot make happen. So what did she do? She forced something to happen. And in the end, she got out one of the things that she wanted, which was kids. A successful marriage, not so much. All that, not knowing her due date, I think that's because she probably got pregnant before she got married. So in order not to really put it out there, because she wanted to respect her mother, her family, that's why she said that. Probably. I don't know. And through the years, she showed different stuff. Now, here's what angers me about people in these blogs. Y'all tend to forget a lot. You tend to forget the fact that when Kenya came on the show, she was flirting with Apollo. Regardless if she ever slept with him or not, she flirted with him. And he flirted back. They were both at fault. That in itself is a huge problem. And Kenya liked that. Kenya is an instigator. She likes to create havoc. That's who she is. And kind of understand it from her non-upbringing. But y'all going around like Apollo is completely clean. And it's not that way. He picked the girl up. I mean, booty all in his face. I mean, what is Phaedra supposed to think? Because if it was any one of you that was in that situation, regardless if your man had hit it or not, you would have a huge problem with that woman that allowed that to happen and basically pushed that to happen. Kenya wanted that to happen. Believe it. Another thing, Apollo is a liar. At this point, they all are liars. They all are liars. But he's probably one of the biggest ones of them all. And then when he went to jail and started flip-flopping, it was like, dog, is the sky blue or is it green? I don't know, because he just said it was green. And then he said it was blue. Then he said it was yellow. Apollo is a liar. Phaedra, she might have known about his activity, but at the same time, what is she supposed to do about it as a wife? Is she supposed to turn them in? Because y'all gave them hell for turning her in, for turning stuff in. You thought Candy, well, she snitched on Candy for having stuff in their garage, and I'm going to get to that too. What is she supposed to do as a wife? If you was in that situation, what would be your shoes? I ain't saying Phaedra's always right and whatever, but if you was going through that with your husband being publicly criticized for marrying a jailbird and you're a lawyer and that was her choice. I mean, we demonize people and never let up. Like forever. And we're supposed to we should forgive them at some point, because nobody has a microscope in our lives, and we understand that's the decision they made. But what would you do? You got 2 children to raise, and it's going to be on your own for the next, 10 years? That's hard. And then he was just wilding out. Now, talking about Apollo and Phaedra, this whole Kandi Phaedra rift. And I'm going to try to wrap it up because it's at 20 minutes. I think the rift started before then. But I think the rift may have started when Phaedra started really just seeing another side of Nene. Listen, if Phaedra and Nene start getting along, although Kandi never forgives anybody, ever, or if she does, it's just, I've never seen her, I don't know, not on this TV show, have never seen her forgive anybody and be able to move forward peacefully. She kind of feels like if she's mad at you, then everybody should be mad at you. It's just what it is. If your homegirl, husband, and your husband at the strip club spending racks and racks and racks and racks, would you have a problem with it? And then my other issue, I got a lot of issues with this show. How in the world, and because I'll read the comments and I'm like, did y'all not realize that this was called NIDA Fitness when they did the fitness video? It was NIDA Fitness, not Phaedra Parks Fitness, NIDA Fitness, in which Phaedra and Apollo were co-owners. So while after you did this video, while you and Apollo, or what's his name, Todd and Apollo was at the strip club, just spending. At no point in time, while y'all spending $9,000, well, Apollo spending $9,000 a night, say, hey, can I get like 5 stacks because you still owe me like 30 for the video and your company hasn't paid, but you and your wife are the co-owner. No, what you do is you wait till he goes to jail and put the whole blame on Phaedra because of whatever he's told you. And that's your homeboy, but you got to know your homeboy's a liar. Anybody that can get a woman in prison while he in prison to marry him, some real good conniving going on. So although Phaedra was partly at fault, she's not totally at fault. Nothing's ever totally what it seems to be, or on one thing or one person. So we start seeing the breakdown of Kandi. Even though Phaedra encouraged Todd to, pursue Kandi and agree with the relationship, even though her mother did not. Very publicly, here in Todd and Kandi, like, I would never be able to get over something like your mom calling my mom a whore and my dad a pimp. But for each his own. That's one of those things that's probably unforgivable. Or it could be forgiven, but I can't be with you. Because you do eventually start acting like your parents. Well, you do act like your parents. It's a lot of traits you take from them. You can be a different person. But that was horrible. That whole thing, and then Miss Sharon died. I couldn't even imagine marrying somebody whose mother, my new mother-in-law, talked about my family that way. My mother of all people, my mother or my father. Father, he never knew, from what I remember from the show. So you can get through that, because it has to be festering. It's no way unless they went to counseling. And it seems like all Kandi was focused on is a baby. Like I say, my thoughts get all mixed up. With Phaedra and Kandi's relationship, That's when the breakdown started, when Apollo started to break off and they didn't have this, I guess, couples friendship anymore, which I kind of want to think that maybe they all had something going. Who knows? But my homegirl husband going to jail, and I know my husband and her husband are friends. This is a very thin line. One, no, homeboy, I'm sorry, you don't have nothing, and I understand the situation. I feel for you, but you cannot store your stuff at my house. And then if you do store it, and my husband said you can store it, me and him gonna have a problem because it's not right. And you putting us in the middle of your stuff when you know you got other people you can go to. So that was a problem. And I really do hate when Candy say, I can't control nobody else. You control their paychecks, you can control them. Point blank. There is no way, no reason. Like, I don't even entertain somebody I really don't care about. It's somebody I don't really care about right now. I don't entertain any conversations about that person, any negative. It could even be positive. That person ceased to exist at this point. For working on the forgiving part. But I don't want anything bad to happen to them. I don't want to speak or do any ill will towards them. Nothing like that. But I ain't gonna let nobody else say nothing. Like, you have your opinion, but I'm done with the negative talk. And that's none of my business. It's not. You have an issue, you need to address that person. It's not my issue. But Candy, not only will she let people talk about other people, even though she don't like nobody talking about her or her family, and this is the big thing that bothers me about her, because the more she's been on his show, the more her real stuff is coming out. And I was like, she needs to be off the show. I'm not saying it negative, but we seeing too much. We seeing too much. And to protect her brain and what she's doing and what she wants to do in the future, please get off the show. And keep intact your fan base of what you had them. And you always on this keeping it real. Well, keeping it real goes wrong sometimes. So, letting her mom talk about folks. Like, my mom don't like somebody, okay. I mean, I know my mom's deceased, but still, even when you don't like somebody, but we're not going to just keep talking about them, because if they are a non-issue, you don't like them, and you don't care about them no more, why do you keep talking about them? Why is this consuming our time? We should be on some other stuff. Not talking about this person that no longer means nothing to my life, your life, or the people around us. But every time it is an issue, especially I'm seeing this season and last season, Portia, Phaedra should let him go see the kids, to take him to see the kids. It's not your call to make. You are not Aiden and Dylan's parent. What you do with your children, you do. But the minute somebody says something, it's a problem. Unless it's not talking about you, or you can talk about somebody else. And that's what I really don't like. And I don't know if it's for the show or if this is like your real life, which it seems like is your real life. And I hate that, because I was such a Candy supporter. Phaedra, she do what she do, and I ain't saying she perfect, but that girl is who she is at all times. She wasn't presented one way. She started off the way she is now. That's just it. All these folks talking about, I'm team Phaedra, I'm team Candy. Why be team anything? Because they both wrong. They both doing some ratchet stuff. Well, that I've heard, that I've read on all these reviews. And in all honesty, more people are like, but Phaedra ain't really said nothing on camera. And if she has done something behind camera, you really looking like a fool, Candy. Like, You looking like very bitter and conniving, but you should be happy because you're still within your first 5 years of marriage. Finally got married. And I'm not saying that like, but I know that's something that she really, really wanted for a long, long time. And she finally got married and now had her second child, which is a son. She really wanted a son. You should be like on cloud nine instead of digging into these other people's stuff or caring what they say about you, what they do. Because the first thing she says, well, I got this much money. Money don't make your soul. You can't take it with you when you die. It's not going to do anything else. And when you're lonely, you're just lonely. $35 million don't do nothing but get people around you that want to take. For the most part. Now, it's good to have a good, stable foundation. And I like the things that she does with Candy Cares. And I can say on a personal note, she has helped out a family that I know. One of my students' families. So it's good and bad and everything, but I really hate the way she's going, the direction she's going on this show. And I really need this to be her last season and get back to whatever it was to her or whatever it is she was putting out there to be. Phaedra them. And again, I like Phaedra through it all. People call her Phaedra or whatever, but I think the really fake thing is presenting yourself to be one thing when you're not. You're something totally different. And you're mad and bitter and all this stuff is going on. Phaedra has been Phaedra and she's been consistent. Now, you might say she fake for whatever she does, but she do what's best for her. And she throws shade. And I think she does it, I don't know if she does it for the show or she just does it naturally. But I just thought Candy was that true person. And I'm very, very disappointed. I feel bad for her. I really do. I really feel bad for her because things can't be going right if you concentrating on everything else. I know for me, because I'm really glowing, and even though it seems like a lot of things fell apart, I'm still happy. I'm disappointed because I've always been a supporter of Candy. And I don't do this Team Candy, Team Phaedra, Team Nene, because that's stupid. It's